Hello, my friends, and welcome to Wednesday Wisdom with Jim. It was about 1980 when I had something significant happen in my life. I was serving as the senior member of the recruiting office for the South Carolina Air National Guard, and it was during this time when I had the opportunity to have an interview with my boss. Every year, we had to go through this process of interviewing to determine our future. Now, I will have to say that prior to this particular year, those interviews had basically been pencil whipped. I never actually met with anybody to talk about my future. And this was a requirement. But this guy, this individual was so in tune with the process that he said, we're going to make it a live interview, and you're going to come to my office and we're going to sit down and we're going to talk about it. It was during this particular time, this particular event, when he introduced me to my future, which I did not have any clue about at that time. It was the question that he asked me is, what is your plan? What is your plan for your future? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? And we talked about the potential positions that I could fill going forward in my career. And unfortunately, for me to get promoted, there was really nothing at McIntyre for me to do. So we had to look outside of that arena. And my choices were I could either become or apply and seek to fill the position of the commandant of the NCO Academy in Knoxville, Tennessee, or I could go for the chief of recruiting operations in Washington. Well, the chief of recruiting position came open, and he helped me in so many ways to navigate that process, to get my application turned in, to write letters of recommendation, to get endorsements from other members of the Air National Guard to support me in applying for that position. Now, if it had not been for that one conversation that we had, I don't know where my journey in life would have taken me. I probably would not be sitting here talking to you about John Maxwell or about leadership or about navigating your career or helping others navigate their careers or about influencing other people. It was that mentoring session that turned things around for my journey, that put me on a path that has led to great, great, great success. And it has led me to meeting so many wonderful people and doing so many wonderful things in my life journey. In today's lesson, as we continue to talk about and think about how we can become people of influence and how we can influence others on their journeys, I'm reminded of that story and about the power of navigating or help others navigate their careers or their path or their journey. And basically navigators or mentors who help us see where we need to go, help us find that path that we need to follow. And today I want to share just a few things about becoming a navigator for others, becoming a person of influence for others, for helping others on their journeys to success, to reaching the next level in their journey. So let us begin. Let us begin. So when we think about a person of influence navigates others, Think about that story that I just shared on my journey and how one person helped me get on the right path to take the steps that I needed to take. So, my question for you, how does that fit into your Shaklee journey? Well, for me, I think it fits perfectly because, after all, we're helping navigate the paths for others for potential financial freedom, potential better health, for potential personal growth. So we're helping others on this journey by being people who help others navigate their journeys. So one of the first things that we have to do is to help identify the paths others need to take. So what is their destination? And a lot of times they don't know what their destination is. So good leaders help identify the destination for our teams. So our teams and our individuals and our customers have a destination. They want to either build a business, or they want to find better health, or they want to supplement their income, or there is something that we have to offer that is a destination that they are seeking. And for you and me, that's part of our journey as influencers, is to help them identify that destination. Now, we've been talking for several weeks now about this becoming a person of influence, and we've talked about a lot of different ways. But of course, one of the most important ways is for us to be asking questions and listening for the answers. And no matter how much you know about the other person, until you actually decide to mentor them and to help them, you're not going to be able to do that. So it's a decision on your part to help others on their journey. Now, of course, they have to want you to help them on their journey. And we do that by becoming better friends, by becoming better helpers, by building better relationships through that process. And we know about building relationships, asking questions, listening. All of those things help us in that process. But there are four things that I think are important, and the things that John Maxwell actually talks about in his book, Intentional Living. He talks about things to help us understand our why. And of course, our destination is based on our why and where we want to go, our purpose. And so he asks us, three questions that we can lean to better understand a person's why, to help them discover their destination. And these three things are very simple. So you want to know, what is it that they cry about? What is it that makes them cry? What is it that causes an emotional response from them? That's the first one. The second thing is what makes them sing? What brings sing? What brings sing, S-I-N-G? What brings joy into their life? What causes them to sing with joy and speak out and shout, I'm excited? What is it? And the third thing is, what do they dream about? What is it that they dream about? Now, the only way you're going to ever know that is by asking great questions and listening to what they say, and then listening some more. And you will hear me talk about listening. If there's one thing that I could share with you that I think is paramount in everything that we do, it's the ability to listen. Listen, listen, and listen some more. And if you can do that, then you can understand and help a person, a client, a customer, a family member, a grandchild on their journey and help them navigate to that destination that they desire. So how would you answer these questions about yourself? What makes you cry? What makes you sing? And what do you dream about? Okay, so you've had a minute to think about that. Let's think about how we can plot a course for other people. How about plotting a course for ourselves as well while we're on that process, in that process? If we understand the other person's passion, if we understand what their potential is, if we can see what their vision is, it allows us to better understand and better know what they really, really, really desire and what they really want to go after. And until we do that, it's going to be difficult for us to mentor that individual on that pathway. The second thing that I think we can do is that once we have identified what they want or where they want to go, we have to help them find the way to get there. This is a big deal, especially in our business. We don't identify what people want when they come into this business. We just say, hey, you want to buy some products? Yes. Well, what do you want from them? What are you expecting from them? I want to do the business. Okay. What do you expect you're going to get from this business? What do you want from this business? Are we asking those kind of questions? If we are, then we can start setting people up on their journey to reach those goals, to reach those desires. Ask them, where do they want to go? What do you want to get out of this? How much effort are you willing to put forth to get what you want? Knowing the course is one thing, but staying on the course is something else. And if we are there to help them on this journey, if we're there to mentor them on this journey, then we can help them fulfill those things that we have learned by asking them what they want, what their desire is. What do you expect? It's all about asking the right questions. And as mentors, as navigators, one of the things that we have to do is we kind of have to predict the future. We have to kind of look forward into the future. We have to think ahead. You know, one of the things that that John says is that leaders know before and go before. And so as mentors, we have to know before and go before if we're going to mentor others to follow the path that we've helped them design. So how can we navigate ahead? How can we think about things that are in the future? How can we be the forward-thinking person in the lives of our customers, clients, prospects? Well, there are four things that we can try to understand, that we must understand as we get this program and this process started. And here's something that we all know, is that everybody that we work with, whether it's somebody that's already on your team or somebody that's joining your team, here is something that we all face. We all face obstacles. We all have problems that we have to deal with. Our responsibility as mentors, as navigators, is to keep our heads up so that we can help them keep their heads up. We have to find ways to overcome those obstacles. We have to find ways to move forward through those barriers and stay positive and energized during that process. The second thing we have to do is we have to be problem solvers. We have to help them find ways to get through those obstacles. Another thing that we have to do is that we have to help them not only find ways, but we have to help them solve those problems. You know, they say that money is one of the things that people who have lots of money don't have problems. Well, they do have problems, just like everybody else. They just have more of them. And so what we have to do is figure out, okay, this is not a money thing. This is about how do we navigate through this process of dealing with the obstacles that they might face. So you know what they are, you've dealt with them. Your experience, this is the key, you have to use your experience to help them get through those obstacles and over those problems or those negative words that they hear from the people that they're talking to. Remember, it's about getting out there and getting as many no's and getting as many obstacles in front of you as you possibly can and figure out how to get through them and over them. That generates the success that we all want. If you stop at the first no, then you certainly are not going to be successful in our line of work or really in anything. And the last thing I want to share about that is that remember that obstacles and problems provide us opportunities for growth. We have to identify that. And how can we grow from the things that are in our way? How can they grow on this path without stopping, without letting those obstacles, without letting the negaholics, without letting the challenges stop them? We have to find ways to get through that by navigating ahead and thinking ahead and helping them through that process. And while we're doing that, you know, the thing that we have to do is navigators, mentors, develop a course correction for all of our teammates. You know, we have, you know, for most of us on this video today, on this Zoom today, have been in Shaklee for a little while. And we have all experienced some obstacles. In fact, if you think back just a few months ago, like 7 months ago, there was this little thing came up called a pandemic. It's created some obstacles for all of us. Now, I hear from a lot of people complaints about, well, I can't do this and I can't do that and I can't get this done and I can't get that done. Well, here's our opportunity to make some course corrections, to do some things differently so that we can overcome those obstacles, to get through this time. We know that there are challenges, but we can't stop. As easy as that would be, we can say, well, I'm just going to throw up my hands and quit. We have to make course corrections. Your teammates are experiencing the same thing. So what are you going to do to help them get through this? What course of action are you going to take to help them find ways to move through this time? Well, the first thing that we have to do, as I have mentioned 100 times just on this Zoom, is that we have to listen to them. We have to listen to what they're saying. We have to be their mentors, lifting them up. We have to help them fight off the critics. And the number one critic, the critic within their own mind that says, well, this is just not going to work. Well, that's not the case. This will work. And yes, we're dealing with obstacles and we're dealing with things that cause us to have to rethink what we're doing and how we're doing it. We have to be willing to step out of that comfort zone and do the things that we know we need to do. More Zooms, more pop-ups, more Facebook Live, all of those things we need to do to move forward. Course corrections, you know, if you're the captain of a ship and you're out on the ocean and there's a huge storm out in front of you, you're not going to go through it. You're going to make a course correction and go around it. You're going to find ways to get around that storm so that you're not sunk by the big waves. Think about how you can make course corrections. Coach them not to be overwhelmed by the challenges. Yeah, we hear the Shackley team at Shackley headquarters talking about how they're doing things to try to make it better for us so that we can continue to grow our businesses. They're helping us face these challenges, to get over the challenges and do the things that we need to do. So there's a problem-solving theory that I want to share with you, and it goes back from so many of you probably know Ken Blanchard, or have at least heard of Ken Blanchard. If you're not familiar with him, one of my favorite books that he wrote is called 1 Minute Manager, and he's written many leadership and management books. And he talks about how we have to be able to get through the challenges, and he talks about a problem-solving process that I like, but I got one I want to share that I like better. And so as we think about how we get through these problems, I want to share what he says. He says, thinking about the problem so that we can really get specific about what the challenge is or what the problem is. And then we need to formulate theories for solving it. What do we need to do to solve this problem? Well, there's some things that we can't do to change the distribution of products, but what we can do is we can talk about what we do have and what we can share and what we can sell and what we can invite others into. But we have to think about how we're going to do that. And the third thing is we have to think about is forecasting what the consequences might be. Well, we know that this thing can't last forever. And if it does, then it's going to become the norm. And as the norm becomes the norm, then things are going to get better, and shipping and handling and packaging of the products is going to get better. So we know that through forecasting, we can overcome the consequences that we're dealing with. And the last thing that he talks about is looking at the big picture. You know, the big picture is, you know, that we have 365 products that we deal with, not just 4 or 5. Now, of course, some of the most important products that we have are on back order, or at least some of them are, and they're coming off back order. But we're getting there, and we're focusing on getting there. And we do that through an encouraging process. So here's what I think you need to do, is that you need to be willing to go out and test the waters. Be willing to do Facebook Lives. Be willing to do Zooms. Be willing to create a marketing plan for your entire year, because you don't know what you're going to be able to do. You don't know what we're going to be able to do over the next 12 months, but we do know that we can still do all of the things that are available to us through the internet, through Facebook, through YouTube, through Zoom. And if we just go out and do it and pick up the phone and call people, it's nothing greater than to pick up the phone and call somebody and have a conversation with them. So those are just test the waters, you know? So what happens? You do that. Well, you're going to have some success and you're going to have some failures. But what happens when you have failure? You grow, you become better. You keep doing it. You keep doing it. You improve, you learn, and you grow. So test, fail, learn, improve, and then re-engage. Do it all over again and again. Correction is not rejection. Correction is making things better and improving things. And as mentors, we have to have that mindset that we want to help people move forward. And sometimes we have to give them advice and help them in correction. So staying on the course, stay the course, do what we have to do. As navigators, we have to stay with the people. As influencers, we have to stick with our team. We have to work with our team. We have to be willing to step up and mentor and share with them every chance we get. So what are you doing to stay connected with your people? What are you doing to stay connected with your people? So here's my call to action for you today. I want you to identify 3 people on your team. Just three people. And I want you to go out and I want you to have conversations with them. And I want you to learn what makes them cry, what makes them sing, and what are their dreams. And then I want you to write those down. When you know this about your people, then your relationship is growing. And when you're building your relationship, you can help mentor and guide others on the journey that they desire to be on. Influencing others by navigating a path for them to success. It's a challenge, but you can do that. Hey, this is Jim. I hope this message has added value to you today, and I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday as we share another lesson from John Maxwell's book, Becoming a Person of Influence. Have a great day.